The DBDC will be held in Boston from July the 28th to July the 31st, 2022. Welcome back. I am still with Mr. Tony Dovolani, and we are going to continue discussing what happened at the recent Pro Rhythm in Manhattan, which actually isn't Brooklyn.
It is a Manhattan borough, though.
Our runners-up, or vice champions, depending on what publications you look at, Dmitriy and Olena. Once again, final analysis was totally consistent. Second in each dance. Spill the beans, Tony.
Not for me. I thought they won. In my book, they won. I found them to be the complete package. This couple has an extensive dance background. But one thing that they did in the past 4 years is they've transformed themselves into the ultimate rhythm couple. And that's something that says a lot about them. And it's so funny because when you watch them, they produce proper body action, leg action, proper movement in American rhythm. They can even hold a lecture. Because I always tell people, you can only be a champion if you could hold a lecture amongst your peers. And amongst your peers, you should be able to bring your identity, your way of doing American rhythm, for example. They can hold a lecture right now because they're starting to do true American rhythm in my book. They have speed, they have agility, they have movement, they show proper body action, proper leg action. They're very much dancing with one another. They're constantly dancing with one another. He adores her, she adores him. You could tell the way they dance with one another that they are in complete appreciation of each other. She is dynamite. She's fast, she's agile, she moves her body like a snake. I mean, there's never a moment where Olena is sitting still. And I love that because she shows slowness, she shows quickness, she shows height, she shows, like the different levels, the light and shade. She is just a unique individual. And for somebody with her stature, which she's actually quite short, she looks like tall and beautiful, and she creates so much volume on the dance floor, and it's so amazing to watch. And right now, Dima, I don't think I've ever seen Dima dance as well as he's dancing right now. He's got great body action. Every movement that he's sending towards it, it's coming from the right place. He's using his back. Here's something that I haven't said yet so far in this final. He's using his back. He's one of the very few boys that's using his back. He's using his back to create power. He's using those muscles, the side, the obliques. He's using a full range of his balance. See, the thing is, a lot of times these couples trying to stay on one part of the balance, like one part of the foot. He's using his entire foot. His balance is ranging when his feet are together between like 3 to 4 inches. And when his feet are apart, he's moving like 8 inches around in a circular action. He's not just sitting on top of his balls of his feet and saying, I'm not going to use the rest of my foot because somebody told me I need to be forward weighted. To me, that doesn't make any sense. This guy is using it. He's using the floor. He's using the spacing. They create so much volume, and choreography wise, very clever. They know how to create highlights, but it's dancing in between. Yes, you do need effects, but don't make it all about effects. It's not flash and trash. It's substance with a thought out movement. And that's something that I'm enjoying about this couple. To me, they were the winners. By a slim margin, but still to me, they were the winners because I felt like they presented the package performance, they presented the appearance, they presented the partnership, they presented the expression, they presented the musicality. They had the complete package in my book. I feel like they're going into USBC all pistons running with the correct timing, correct everything. They look like they thought about what they were going to wear. They thought about how they were going to look on the floor, where they were going to stand. Even on their when they danced their mambo, I was like, all right. I mean, this couple is prime to challenge the champions. And in my book, the champions in this particular case were not up to par. And that's why I gave Dima and Olena the first place. And Only in a cha-cha, I was thinking about it. Like, okay, I was kind of comparing. But halfway through cha-cha, while Dima and Alona are still having fun with each other and creating speed and creating rhythmicality, I look over at the champions and they're having fun with the audience or taking a pause. Hey, love me. I'm sorry, but I don't buy into that. I'm not there for you to ask me to clap for you. Do something special and I'll clap for you. So in my mind, Dima and Alona came there to compete, and they certainly showed it to me. And I felt like they are prime right now for the championship. It's, and I understand that the judges have their favorites, and I get that, and everybody has a right to their opinion. But for me, it's like I will not mark form. I never have. I'm going to mark what I see. I'm going to give you the respect on the ranking. I will give you the respect. However, if I see a couple dancing better than you, I'm going to mark them. I'm sorry, but for that moment, I'm going to mark them, and I will be respectful of your ranking. Don't get me wrong. If I will never drop, for example, a champion to sixth place. No, that's not going to happen. Mm-hmm. However, if your second place couple is challenging you and is actually out dancing you, I'm going to mark them. And it's not like I'm going to insult you. I'm going to mark you behind them second, for example, because I don't think that's an insult. It's funny because over the years when I was competing, I appreciated that if I didn't dance well, that some judge actually did not mark me to win. I appreciated that because I would look at it and go, all right, listen, I can't, it was like a warning sign for me because, all right, I better step up because the couples behind me are catching up. So I have to, so I never took anything for granted. I never mailed it in. And sometimes I understand the whole, presentation and so on, but you got to put the body of work behind it too. And I felt like Dima and Alona definitely did that. They didn't just present, they danced. They danced with each other. They created so much volume. I can't say enough good things about them. And I felt like it was so fun to watch. Even as a judge, you mark your six, because I start from the back. I mark my sixth, fourth, big sixth, fifth, fourth. And then third was kind of like, all right, Andrew and Amy were kind of like solid third. And then I was able to compare. So I gave the top two couples the last 45 seconds of every dance. And I wanted to see the back end of their routine because everybody saw strong. And I get that. Everybody, when they first start their routines, because that's the most rehearsed part of the routine, is your first 45 seconds. But I wanted to see the back end. I wanted to see the last 45 seconds. Let me see the last 45 seconds, and I'll tell you who's the champion. And in this particular case, 45 seconds later, Dima and Alona are still ticking and still moving, still creating power, still creating speed, still dancing with one another, still showing the quality that is required in order to be a champion. And the other couple did not. So therefore they lost me on that. So I thought Dima and Alona, in my opinion, deserved to win it. I knew they weren't going to win, but I wanted to give my opinion, and that's what they hired me for. So, and that's what I gave as an opinion.
Well, that was a glowing endorsement, Mr. Dovolani. I am sure when they hear this, they will be over the moon. That's excellent.
It's so funny because there was a while back, and Bob will probably remember this, because people think that, like I had my rivalries in my competitive career. Emmanuel was one of them. There was Brian Jolly. There was a couple of different people that I danced against. And when I switched over to judging, and I remember, because I am a huge fan of Bob and Julia. And when Julia danced with Emmanuel, I just thought that was a mistake. And to this day, I will tell her straight to her face, this is not a secret. Because I love Bob and Julia so much. And I think the world of both of them. And I think they're like amazing human beings on top of it. And when she came back, and I know why she came back, she wanted to still dance and so on. I just was not a big fan because I felt like Julia needed a Bob next to her to showcase what she's capable of. So I wasn't a great judge for that. And then Emmanuel started dancing with Leanna, I think, after Julia. Yes. And they were dancing at Embassy, and at the time it was Felipe and Carolina and them. And I got done with judging and I came off the floor, and it's funny, I got asked by Bob, so who did you give that comp to? And I know why he was asking, because he thought that I still didn't like Emmanuel. and it was completely not true. And I was like, Emmanuel and Liana. And at that time, Felipe and Carolina were like a couple of spots ahead of them. And he goes, really? And I go, yes. I thought Emmanuel and Liana are dancing beautifully right now. I think they have what it takes to become champions. And I said, I know why you're asking me, because you thought I didn't like them. Actually, I'm indifferent when I watch people dance. I love everybody off the floor. But on the floor, I'm hired to do a job. My job is to assess the dancing in front of me, give my opinion on a piece of paper, based on my knowledge, based on my experience, based on what I believe it should be. And so for me, there's no personal attachment to a mark. My mark is you're an athlete, you have a number on your back. If you don't like the business that we're in, don't dance. Because if you attach emotion to it and you don't like me because I didn't mark you well, then you're already ruining it for yourself. I'm still going to mark you exactly the same way as I see it, because I don't bring emotion to this. I bring knowledge. I bring my experience. So if I don't like somebody, that doesn't mean I'm going to mark them bad. I've actually marked people I completely dislike to win. Why? Because they danced well. That's my job. I can separate the two. But I've marked people I really liked last. Why? Because they didn't dance well. And if they ask my opinion, I tell them, sorry, I wasn't impressed today. You know, and I tell people all the time, and I think that's something that I take pride in marking exactly what I see. Like it, don't like it. That's your problem, not mine. Because I sleep at night knowing that I did the right thing by my knowledge, by my, credibility, knowledge. I spent a lot of money in my dancing. I spent a lot of money, and I pounded those floors hours in and hours out. Nobody rehearsed more than I did. I did 2 a day. I practiced 2 hours in the morning, 2 hours at night, and taught 10 lessons in between. I live dancing. So that's what I bring to it. So just because you think I should mark you to win, you're not going to get it. You better produce something. And in this particular case, that doesn't mean that I don't like the people that I maybe don't mark well. It just, that's what it is. And Chris, it's funny because
that is what it is.
There was one couple that came up to me, and it's so funny because I guess I didn't mark them well, like in their opinion. I had marked them fifth, but I liked their dancing. So I gave them a compliment, and they went to say something to me. They said, well, your mark didn't show it. And I said, you just screwed up. And they go, what do you mean? I said, I just came up to me. I took time out of my life to walk up to you to give you a compliment. I said, maybe my mark didn't show up right now because that's where I think you deserve to be. Because you don't know what the other couples danced like. Well, maybe you're trending in the right direction, and I gave you a compliment to boost up your confidence. So the following time you're dancing, if you dance that well, I might have marked you better. But you having an attitude with me right now might have ruined that. And luckily, I'm professional enough in my field that I will not let that affect my opinion. However, I can see this affecting other judges. I can see this affecting other human beings because we are an emotional business. So I encourage the couples, if you're watching this, look at the marks, learn from them, don't question them. Because every judge on that panel has earned the right to give their opinion. And if you are that invested emotionally, where it affects your personal life, where you get mad and you get sad and you get all that, take the number off your back and sit in the audience and enjoy others' competing.
Simple as that, as you said. All right, let us now see who actually did win Manhattan. This is going to be fun. Hey guys, we are going to be back in a minute with more from the Pro Rhythm at the recent Manhattan Dance Board Championships.